Hey everybody, it's Christy back with another video, and we are doing a second installment of the Art Advent series today. So, as you know, I have been on a search to find some non-traditional ways to celebrate an Advent or Advent calendars. And so I found this company on Etsy, and she does have some beautiful Advent calendars that are a little bit more pricey. She's got some that are dot cards as well. So I'm gonna link Archie's paints below because she's super sweet. But I thought it might be fun to try to make a budget-friendly advent calendar with some of her budget-friendly supplies. So there's all of her information. She wrote me this really nice note on the back of my card. It says, "Christina, you're amazing. Stay safe, Kaylee." And then it says, "Thank you so much. Your order truly means the world to us. We hope you love these paints as much as we do. We would love to see what you've made with these paints. Don't forget to tag us in your new masterpieces." Now, full disclosure, just like with High Valley Paper Company, I did not tell her that I was doing this. I bought these with my own money as a normal consumer. So I'm going to kind of walk you through how I'm going to take what she calls her watercolor grab bag, and I'm going to turn it into an art advent calendar. So this is what came in the package. I purchased the large watercolor grab bag, which is supposed to have 10 to 14 regular sized half pans in it. So here it is. I have not obviously looked at this yet. It's all kind of wrapped up. Now on top of that, she did send some care instructions, which are right here. She sent a little suite, and then she sent 2 dot cards. So here is, before I open it, here's what I'm going to add to this to make this into what I would consider like a fun advent gift that you could put together for somebody. I'm going to add a tin. This is basically just like a mint-sized tin because I'm only going to have 10 to 14 paints. So I think I can fit them in here. You could get something like this at the dollar store. Okay, and I'm going to give you prices here in a minute. All right. I would include a round 6 brush. This is a round 6 I have from Van Gogh, but I wouldn't spend more than $7 or $8 on the brush, but I would include a brush if I was giving this as a gift. I would probably include a fine liner. This is a 0.3, something in the 0.3 to 0.5 range, but yeah, again, like a dollar store fine liner, nothing terribly crazy or fancy. And last but not least, I would include a sketchbook. Now, because I like watercolor and I know my style, I would want a watercolor cold press sketchbook. So these little guys from Etcher run around $20 to $25. Even with that high of a price tag for the Advent price, I think you could still do really well here. So for this grab bag of paints, the large one, it was like $17 and change. Then there was some shipping. So let's just say I paid about $25 for this. And then this would be, let's say, another $25. So there's $50. And then 56, 57, 58. Let's just round it out and say 60 bucks. So let's say I could get all of this for 60 bucks. Okay. The Arteza Advent Calendar for 12 days is $50, I believe. And the one for 24 days is $80. The Graby one that I showed off in a different video, or didn't show because I'm not interested in showing it, but talked about in another video, is closer to $80 or $90. I know they go on sale sometimes, but even then, none of them are close to the price tag of $60. So for $60, you could get somebody a sketchbook, a brush, a liner, something to hold the paints in, and a paint grab bag. And I think you could make a nice little advent calendar out of this. So my idea was that you would take these paints, and I don't know if they're going to be wrapped up or not. I'm going to show you if they're not wrapped, what I would do. So let's see what we got. Oh, good, they're wrapped. See, it's like she knew. So they are wrapped. So let's count how many we ended up with. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna like make a little row. 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 exactly. How perfect is that? 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 2 dot cards, plus this. And I don't know what this is, so I may open this first just to see if it's paint or not. It's like a little cap. Oh, it is paint. Okay, so it is a little cap full of paint. So I'm wondering if I could get them all in here. So let's just explore that for a moment. So my thinking is that you could just get something like this, and you could label each one like day 1, day 3, day 5, etc. And then you would have a little 24-day advent calendar. Let's see if I put this here. Can I get this little bottle cap? Maybe if I turn this guy. Yep, if I turn it, I can get that in there. And then I still have these 2 dot cards, which you could just set on top. So we have 12, 13, 14, 15. If you included this, you have 16. So you could just have this really nice little advent situation. So if I were to give this to somebody, I might make day 1 the sketchbook, day 2 the marker, so that they could immediately start drawing in the sketchbook if they wanted to. Then maybe day 3 is the paintbrush. And then we could start giving out the paints. So we would have enough to get us almost to 24 days. And that's just right here. So let me go ahead and label these, and then we will open them up and look at what we could do with them. All right, so this is kind of how I envisioned that you might approach this watercolor calendar. You could put these all in a little tin and give them out and then number them. I numbered them at random. I haven't unwrapped them yet. And then because I had the extra for the 12, I just said open first, and I stuck these right at the top, figuring that they would be available for the entire duration of kind of the Advent. And then I would give them a blank sketchbook. This one's not blank. I just didn't want to open another sketchbook. I'm trying to be better about finishing sketchbooks before I start new things. So I'm just going to flip to a blank page in here and kind of show off what I would do with this. So I would start by just opening day 1 and saying that you can only use the colors that you have already opened. So each day you add a color to the palette, for the final day kind of being where you can use off all the paints together and try to make that your challenge. So I think that would be a really fun way to approach an art advent situation with one medium. So let's go ahead and take a look at day 1. Ooh, it's blue. So we have a blue paint here. It's really pretty sparkly blue. There's a little label on the bottom here. But so I would basically try to make a piece with just this blue, these two, and then I said I'll do the open first here because I think this is like a silver paint, silver mirror. So it would be cool to just go ahead and try to approach the Advent with just this one paint. And then, like I said, each day kind of adding to that until you get to the final day where you would have a piece that has everything in it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and open all of these, and I will approach them in that vein. So I will remember where I put everything. I am going to show you what I got in this calendar so that you can make a decision, or this grab bag, so that you can make a decision yourself if you would like to get something similar. So here we have an absolutely beautiful gold. Like I said, I don't think you can beat this for the price for handmade paints, even if they're like the secondary ones. It was only $17 and change plus shipping. All right, so let's go ahead and unwrap these. So here's day 3. I'm wondering if they're all going to be shimmer paints. I can't remember if that's what I purchased. This is a beautiful purple. And I will go ahead and swatch all of these so that you can see what they look like. We've got a pretty green. So it's really nice that so far I don't have any duplicate colors or even samey colors. Everything seems like it was curated nicely, even within the grab bag. And I don't know if that would be everyone's experience, but like I said, I just paid for this like a normal person. Kaylee had no idea that I was going to get it, or I was going to give it to her. So this looks like it might be like a fluorescent. It's really hard to see on camera. Like a fluorescent orange that had a bubble in it. So it's kind of broken, but still a good amount of paint, even though it is unique. It would be fun to get to this day and have to figure out what to do with that color amongst the other colors. I find that to be a fun challenge. This beautiful like metallic rose color. Let's see what day 7 has. Okay, so this color is a little bit similar to this color, it would seem. And this one is upside down in the pan. I can't. Well, we'll have to put paint on them and see. So these are the first two that I have felt were kind of samey. But again, it's a grab bag, so you never know what you're going to get. See what's happening for day 8. If you want to spend the money to get the cure. Ooh, this one's pretty. It's like an iridescent sheen color. If you want to spend the money to get a curated advent calendar, the Archie's Paints has those as well. And they look awesome. I just thought it would be fun to kind of provide a budget-friendly option for that as well. If you are interested in me getting the advent calendar, let me know and I can look into that. All right, we have another blue color, but this one is more subdued, more of a smoky blue, so it's definitely different than that blue up there. So far, we don't have anything that's like red or yellow, so we're not having a ton of warm colors here. But for a Christmas advent, this actually works nicely. All right, we have another silver here. I don't know how close this is to the silver that I have in that pan right there. We'll have to test it and see. But especially for somebody that doesn't have a lot of metallic paints, this would be a super fun way for them to try out some handmade watercolors. This is like a bronzy color. Last but not least, on day 12, what do we got here? Oh, it's Phoenix. Okay, so we did finally get like a nice warm red color called Phoenix, which is beautiful. What a cool paint for day 12. So that is what I get in this calendar. I'm going to go ahead and paint with what I would have had for day 1. I'm going to swatch and I'm going to show a painting with all of these colors for day 12. And then we'll come back and talk about your thoughts about doing an advent like this. so here we are back after a lot of playtime with these paints, and I want to talk a little bit about this whole idea and what I think about it. So, first thing I did was swatched. I swatched my freebie paints, and then I swatched all 12 days. Now, it should be noted that I switched days, what would be 8 and 9 in my swatch chart, but it doesn't really matter. It was just for fun. I labeled them blind, so it's not like it really made a difference, but these freebies are actually really beautiful, and it's hard on camera to get the nuance that they have. And then this number 10 was actually really unique too. It had like really chunky holographic glitter in it, but these paints were absolutely beautiful. I had so much fun with this. So I swatched them out, and then I did swatch them on black just because, you know, the metallic watercolor lady in me had to know, and they swatched really beautiful on the black as well. So at some point I may put these up to the metallic watercolor series. I may do one where I do a couple of my smaller brands that I've acquired over the years, but this was really pretty. So the first thing I did was just painted with the freebie paints and day one to show an example of how you would do that. So I did a delphinium, one of my favorite flowers to paint, and I know you can't see as well as I can in person, but I've got silver for the actual branches, and then I used this, I think it's called Elara paint for the leaves, and it is beautiful. It really turned out. I actually really love this piece, but it's kind of one of those where in person it's just so much prettier than the camera is willing to pick it up. But I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm not sure the footage of this got taped. I tried to tape it, and it was just one of those days with filming. So I think that it may have gotten not filmed, and that would really break my heart. But if not, I know that I filmed myself using all of the paints here. So I kind of just did a pretty floral piece using all of the paints, but you can see even the, I put the white-ish paint in between these little flowers. I used the neon and the gold in here to kind of create this like neat effect. I used some of the neon in the ranunculus, and actually it turned out really cool. I like how that ended up. So I had a lot of fun with these paints, and I think this would be such a cool idea if you gave somebody this paint set and you said, okay, every day you can open a new paint, and then you have a couple freebies to work with. You know, I kind of made it how I wanted it. So for the first day, I still had 1, 2, 3, 4 colors to work with, and I was able to get something really beautiful. But then as you build more colors, you end up getting something even more fun. So you still get that Advent idea of having something to open each day and giving you some art inspiration. And you could, you know, do 12 days, which is every other day. And you could even challenge people to use, you know, make 2 paintings with that. But for all of these supplies, I want to talk a little bit about pricing. So let's do that. So the whole point of these art advents that I'm doing is to show you that you don't necessarily need to spend all the money that an art advent calendar might be, and may or may not be worth it. So let's talk first about how much it would cost you to do what I did. So if you get the paint grab bag from Archie's Paints, which is what I did, it would be $27.65. I'm in the United States, and that was the cost on Etsy with shipping. So I'm including shipping and everything here. For an Altoids tin, I said $2. You could probably get one cheaper than that, or you might have one already, which is basically all that little tin that I'm using is. I said for a round number 6 brush, but then I went on Amazon, and I will link below. I was able to find a golden Taklon Royal and Langnickel, which is a great budget-friendly company, and they have a round golden Taklon set for $8.47. You get 5 brushes, a 0, a 2, a 4, a 6, and a 10, which would be exactly perfect for this size of notebook. So that was like such a slam dunk for me that you could get 5 brushes for $8.50 that are of the same quality of what I used here, because I used a round 3 and a round 6. Then the Etrolab sketchbook, that's the high ticket item other than the paints, and it would have been $26.52 on Amazon, which is where I would purchase it. for the size that I purchased, and then $2 for a fine liner, which brings us to a total of $66.64. So we could get this a little closer to $50 if we did a couple of things. One of those is buying a cheaper sketchbook, and I will go through options below for something that would be a little cheaper than that. But also, let's compare this to the price of some of the other advent calendars out there. So the Arteza Fine Advent Calendar is $80. It's got free shipping. I did get it, so we're going to go through it and see how good it is this year. In the past, it's kind of been a mishmash of things, and it hasn't given you something that you can come away with that is one unified art supply. Now, that might not be the purpose of why you do an advent calendar, so if it's not, I say go for it. I love the Arteza one. If I was going to recommend one of these, it would be the Arteza one. The Upgrade Advent Calendar was fun to open last year, but I will say that the price tag of getting it to the US is high. So it's $86.79 right now when you convert the euros at this very moment, but there's a 42 euro price tag shipping charge, which I get. Like, I understand that that's what they have to do. So that one is $131, and I just don't think that it is worth that money for me. Right, so I'm not going to do that one again this year, but if you're in the UK or if you're in Europe, that would be one that maybe makes sense to you. So double check that one. And then, like I've talked about in other videos, I'm not getting the Graby one. It is $90 and has free shipping. It's more than Arteza. I would absolutely not recommend it over the Arteza calendar. I'm really going to see if I can watch an unboxing of that to even further justify how I'm feeling about it. But right now, it just, again, Graby gives me the ick. So all of those are way more expensive than building this yourself. Now, granted, you would have to do a little bit more work on your end to make this into an advent calendar, but I think that you could, even for yourself, make this, right? Because these paints come wrapped, so you wouldn't necessarily know what they are. So even if you just wanted to do this for yourself, you absolutely could do that. If this price tag for a sketchbook is too high and you already have a sketchbook, use what you have. Or if you want something a little more affordable, I'll link these guys below. There is a Paul Rubens hot press sketchbook for $15 that I recommend to a lot of people. It's 100% cotton paper. It is witchcraft how they offer it this cheap. I don't really know, but it is really decent quality paper. If you're willing to give up the 100% cottonness of it all, you know I really love my Stillman & Byrne Beta Series sketchbooks. And they're going to run you, if this size is close to $12, something a little bit bigger, which the Paul Rubens is admittedly bigger, will run you closer to about 18 or 19 bucks. And you know those prices fluctuate on Amazon, but I will link all of that below. So that would save you a significant amount of money. The biggest Stillman & Byrne would get you under $60. The Paul Rubens one would get you at $55. And this one would get you really, really close to the $50 price tag. And then if you wanted to spend a couple extra bucks, you could go to the dollar store, get some washi tape, get a little water cup, something like that. If you're giving it as a gift, those are nice dollar store add-ons that would make this, closer to 70 bucks, but really feel like you were getting a whole 24 days of things. So that is my breakdown on how you could turn this cool watercolor grab bag into an advent calendar. I will remind you that Archie's Paints, Kaylee over at Archie's Paints, does have advent calendars. If you're interested in something that's already curated for you, she does offer those in a wide variety of options. And I'm going to link her store below. I really love supporting people on Etsy. Again, the website to get to her is Archie's Paints right there. And again, she has no idea that I'm putting this out there, so hopefully she appreciates the love. And yeah, I think this is such a cool thing that you could do for yourself or for somebody that you love that would be at a nice budget price as opposed to buying something from the big name brand companies. So what do you guys think of this? Do you think this was a good idea? Can you add something to it for me that you think might be fun? I would love to have all of your thoughts about this in the comments below. And that's going to be it for me today. I hope that this inspires you to paint some flowers today, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.